Hey, good evening. Let's talk Sacral Chakra. This is the second chakra. So the Sacral Chakra is also known as the passion, the sexuality, or the water chakra. And in Sanskrit, this chakra is also called Svadhisthana. And this word has various translations. Some might call it or refer to it as the dwelling of the self, or some might call it or refer to it as the sweetness, right? Which is unlike the first chakra, which is associated with solidity, grounded earthiness, right? And foundation, stillness, or solidity is what I'm thinking. The second chakra, unlike the first chakra, is actually, it's flowing and it's moving and it's showing, connection with one's own emotions, right? And there's like this spontaneous desire to create that spark through the sacral chakra or to manifest. And so I actually picture it as like in terms of color, it's a deep orange red. It's like an orange fiery red, but it's orange, but I'm picturing it as a deep reddish orange, almost like that perfect sunset in the evening, right? And it's actually characterized by the 6-petal lotus flower, unlike the first chakra, which is 4 petals. The second has 6 petals on the lotus flower. And this chakra is right in your lower belly and the abdomen, where the genitals and the ovaries and the uterus lies. And it's most definitely associated with fertility or procreation. But aside from that, this chakra is also associated with the lower back, with the nerve plexus. It's associated with organs around the hip area, the gallbladder, the kidneys, those organs down in that area. And so the sacral chakra has everything to do with passion and being able to feel and get in touch with our emotions without becoming overcome by them, right? It's not only psychologically healthy, but it also is an indication that when we're able to identify feelings apart from our being, right, it's also an indication that we have an open second chakra when we're able to distinguish, right, between the two. And again, it's being able to recognize and separate what it is that we're feeling as, when we're feeling something, as opposed to what we actually are. Just because you're feeling it doesn't mean that it is you. It's being able to step away and view yourself almost from like a third party perspective, right? But today it's very easy, for us to become addicted to these emotions and these feelings of passionate drive, or shall I say, drama, right? There's an all-time high when it comes to this tension that develops around this strong emotion that's very inviting and alluring and almost seductive. Emotions like jealousy and rage and admiration, right? Sexual attraction, even revulsion, inspiration, or anything dramatic. It all comes from this sacral chakra. And learning to see these emotions or these feelings, learning to see them as sensory feelings, can be very helpful in staying balanced in the second chakra. Of course, the lack of emotional attention, emotional attention, excuse me, or even too much of the wrong type of attention can be destructive, you know, as we're developing in childhood, which can also fall over into adulthood and cause a lot of issues or dysfunctions around, you know, emotions and being able to connect and feel and allow ourselves to experience pleasures in life, you know. And so the Sacral Chakra passions are given mostly to those in our immediate surroundings, those that are closest to us. And it also is where intimacy starts as well. When we feel emotions physically, or when we feel emotionally, physically, or sexually attracted to someone, it's coming from that second chakra, the Sacral Chakra. And it's that area of our chakra that's sending those sparks, you know, and sometimes it radiates throughout the whole body. Hence that saying, you ever heard of that saying, being weak in the knees, SWV? I get so weak in the knees, I can hardly speak, right? That's kind of, it's that idea, you know, it's coming from the Sacral Chakra, and sometimes it floods the whole body. That's how strong this energy is passing through the chakra. You get weak in the knees, your legs get a little shaky when you even think about the object of your desire, right? That's that Sacral Chakra buzzing. And then when it comes to reproduction, which is more practical, that too is the Sacral Chakra, because that's where our reproductive organs are, and it extends into our feelings, also into our abilities and tendencies to parent as we're parenting. One of the things that's sticking out in my mind for me when it comes to that, when it comes to extending into the parenting, is that point where we, you know, give birth and we're allowing the baby to latch on during breastfeeding. That feeling that happens in the body for the women. How many of you guys know what I'm talking about when I express this feeling? And I don't know about you, but when I experienced the experience of breastfeeding, it was as if the pull, when the baby was breastfeeding, the pull went way down, like deep into my body. What I now understand to be the Sacral Chakra, it's like a pull that happens when the baby is sucking, and it kind of pulls deep down into the bottom of your body. What I now know is the Sacral Chakra, right? But when it comes to creativity, which is another area, this is also another aspect of our passionate self as well. And everything that we create in our mind actually has to pass through the Sacral Chakra, right, to bring it into fruition. Here is where the impulse to create lies, whether it's art, whether it's poetry, whether it's music, dancing, you know, wanting to create, you know, and create an essence or an environment, even, you know, wanting to share your thoughts, right? Allowing it to pass through the Sacral Chakra is necessary. And exercising this impulse to create is just as important as exercising the body and the mind. And it could be very simple. It doesn't have to be this big drawn out masterpiece, you know, but it could be just little processes that you allow yourself to engage in to keep that tool sharp, that creative tool that we have, that creative power. And if you're experiencing creative blocks, it could very well be that the second chakra is blocked, right? That energy center is blocked. So when you see someone with a healthy open chakra, that can very well look like, you know, someone who is very sure of their movements. They're flowy and graceful at the same time in their movements. And sometimes there's even the little feel of a little sensualness coming from them. And the lack of that, you know, would look like someone who's a little, maybe a little clumsy or just a little heavy, right? That may be the sign of a blocked chakra, a blocked sacral chakra. Doesn't have to be, but generally that's what that could look like, an open and a blocked chakra. And so I also wanted to take a look at some characteristics or just some things, elements that would associate with the second chakra. And so in terms of an animal, fish and other sea creatures are associated with the second chakra, because again, the second chakra deals with emotions and water, right? The archangel Gabriel or Metatron are associated with the second chakra, the sacral chakra. And in terms of the body, it is the emotional body. It's the emotional part of the body. The color, again, is orange. For me, I very much see that as a very deep reddish orange, but the color is generally orange. The element, again, is water. And the food associated with the second chakra can be sweet fruit like melons, strawberries, mangoes, coconuts, honey, nuts, spices such as vanilla, carob, and cinnamon, right? And some of those you notice are kind of like a reddish hue, whether it's a brownish reddish or whether it's an orangish reddish. But those are the foods associated. As far as a gemstone or a crystal, carnelian, coral, amber, or other orange stones would be associated with the second chakra. The goddess and the goddesses and gods would be Diana, Dionysus, Indra, Pan, Rakini, Varuna, and Vishnu, right? Vishnu actually is sticking out because I did a reading recently where that she came out, or he came out, and it's in regards to, or it's associated with love, the divine feminine and the divine masculine, divine counterparts, right? For herbs and spices, we have coriander or fennel, and for incense, it would be gardenia. And keyword for the second chakra is feeling. And kinds of people would be children, and romantic partners would generally be associated or affected by the sacral chakra. And the metal would be tin. The music note is actually in the key of D. And as you notice when you go over to the series associated with this, I am recording those, the meditations in the appropriate keys. I think I did the root chakra in C. This one was D. And then I just uploaded the third chakra, which is the solar plexus, which was in E. But D is actually the key of the second chakra. The number of petals on the lotus flower. So the number for this one is number 6. And the plane of existence for the sacral chakra is actually the astral plane. That's interesting. That's interesting. The astral plane, the sacral chakra, and the astral plane. Ooh, that just, I may have to do a video on that. And the ruling planet is Jupiter, also Neptune. Jupiter is actually associated with Sagittarius as well. The seed sound is Bang. That also was a mantra that can be heard in the second recording of the meditation that goes along with the second chakra. And the sense is taste for the second chakra. Taste. Interesting. And the organ is actually the tongue. The tongue is the organ. The shape is actually a teardrop. The tarot suit is cups, right? Which is very emotional. It's water energy. And the verb for the Sacral Chakra is to feel. And the vowel or vibration is O as in home, O, O-H, or oo as in do, O-O. So O or oo, right? And then the yoga path is actually Tantra yoga. That's interesting too. So these are very sensual things, which makes sense because we're talking about the Sacral Chakra. And then the zodiac sign again is Sagittarius and Pisces, okay? And so the second chakra, the Sacral Chakra, or the Svadhisthana, is what we were talking about today. And that this particular tap in goes along with the second meditation recording. That's, if you are interested, it's over. There is a series that I'm posting, one video at a time. This was last week's video, so it's number 2, the second chakra, the Sacral Chakra. If you want to go over and take a listen, pull away from your day for maybe about 30, 40 minutes to give yourself a moment to become familiar, if you're not, to awaken this part of your chakra system. And if you are familiar, just to energize it, you know. It's all good either way. And so, and again, that's on my page under the series, the 7-episode Chakta Meditation Mantra, number 2. And so I just wanted to, you know, buzz in and give a little bit more information on the second chakra, the sacral, which is absolutely one of the more exciting chakras. As you heard as I was going through, this is the one that tends to be a little bit more addictive because of the emotional experience that's attached to it, you know. But there's definitely some things to take into consideration to get the most out of having an open chakra or dealing and reopening a closed chakra, right? And so I hope this helps in understanding a little bit more about the second chakra. And feel free to comment if you have questions during this series. You are more than welcome to do that. Please like, share, subscribe if this is your first time stopping by. By liking, sharing, subscribing, all of those would help to grow the channel or allow others that may be helped by seeing, you know, things like this. And so the support is very much appreciated. And so until my next video, I'll be coming back this week with more information on the Sacral Chakra. Take care of yourself. All right. Bye.